Hollywood has lost one of its most distinctive and celebrated actors. Val Kilmer, renowned for his magnetic screen presence and an eclectic range of roles that spanned multiple genres, has passed away at the age of 64. The official cause of death has now been confirmed as pneumonia, according to a death certificate obtained by TMS from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. Kilmer died on April 1, marking the end of a long and courageous battle with numerous serious health complications. The death certificate provides a detailed look into the medical factors that led to his death. It lists acute hypoxemic respiratory failure as the primary cause. This condition occurs when the lungs are unable to deliver enough oxygen to the blood, leading to potentially life-threatening consequences. In Kilmer's case, the respiratory failure was further compounded by several underlying conditions, including chronic respiratory failure, squamous cell carcinoma of the base of the tongue, malnutrition, and a tracheocutaneous fistula, a complication resulting from a long-term tracheostomy that forms an abnormal opening in the neck. Kilmer's death may have seemed sudden to some, but to those close to him, and to longtime fans who had followed his health journey, it was the tragic conclusion of a decade-long battle with illness. Diagnosed with throat cancer in 2015, Kilmer underwent aggressive treatments, including chemotherapy and surgeries that drastically altered his ability to speak and breathe. The procedures severely damaged his vocal cords, making speech extremely difficult. As his condition progressed, he required a tracheostomy to assist his breathing, which ultimately led to further complications and a decline in his overall health. Despite the physical toll the disease took on him, Kilmer remained resilient, even appearing in the 2022 blockbuster Top Gun: Maverick in a brief but emotionally charged reprisal of his role as Tom "Iceman" Kazansky. The moment was particularly poignant for fans who had watched Kilmer's journey through illness. Because he could no longer speak in the way he once had, filmmakers employed advanced AI technology to recreate his voice using archival recordings and machine learning tools. The result was a moving testament to both Kilmer's enduring legacy and the power of modern technology to preserve a fading voice. Kilmer's health had been in steady decline for several years. Sources close to the actor revealed that in the final months of his life, he had become mostly bedridden and was receiving continuous medical care. His daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, had previously shared that her father's pneumonia had worsened quickly, leading to complications that his weakened body could no longer overcome. On April 7, just 6 days after his passing, Val Kilmer was cremated in a private ceremony, attended by close family and friends. The quiet nature of the proceedings mirrored the reclusive lifestyle Kilmer had adopted in his final years, one marked by reflection, spirituality, and the desire for peace amid medical adversity. A storied career spanning decades. Val Kilmer's career was anything but ordinary. He rose to fame in the 1980s and quickly became a household name with a magnetic on-screen presence and chameleon-like ability to fully immerse himself in roles. He first caught public attention with his performance in the 1984 comedy Top Secret, followed by the cult classic Real Genius, 1985. But it was his role as the cocky fighter pilot Iceman in Top Gun, 1986, opposite Tom Cruise that catapulted him to international stardom. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, Kilmer delivered a string of unforgettable performances. He embodied rock legend Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors, 1991, a portrayal so eerily convincing that many fans mistook Kilmer's voice for Morrison's in the film's musical numbers. His role as the gunslinger Doc Holliday in Tombstone, 1993, remains one of his most acclaimed performances, earning him widespread praise for his charisma and commitment to the part. In 1995, Kilmer stepped into one of the most iconic roles in cinematic history, Bruce Wayne/Batman, in Batman Forever. While the film received mixed critical reception, Kilmer's performance was lauded for bringing a brooding intensity to the character. His decision not to return for the sequel was reportedly due to creative differences and his desire to pursue more varied and challenging roles. Kilmer's resume expanded with diverse characters in films such as Heat, 1995, The Saint, 1997, The Ghost and the Darkness, 1996, and The Salton Sea, 2002. His ability to oscillate between blockbuster hits and independent projects demonstrated a fearless approach to acting that endeared him to directors and audiences alike. A private man with a public struggle. As Kilmer's career evolved, so too did his personal philosophies and priorities. Known for his deeply spiritual nature, Kilmer was a devout Christian Scientist for much of his life, a belief system that initially led him to delay conventional treatment for his throat cancer. Though he eventually sought medical intervention, the disease had already caused considerable damage. In recent years, Kilmer opened up about his health struggles in his 2020 memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, and the 2021 Amazon Prime documentary Val, which he co-produced using home videos, behind-the-scenes footage, and personal narration. The documentary offered an intimate and unflinching look at his life, capturing both his triumphs and trials with authenticity and grace. Fans were deeply moved by his vulnerability and artistic spirit, which remained strong even as his physical health waned. Kilmer continued to paint, write poetry, and connect with his fans through his art and social media, often sharing insights into his spiritual journey and creative process. An outpouring of tributes. News of Kilmer's passing reverberated throughout Hollywood and beyond. Social media platforms were flooded with tributes from colleagues, fans, and fellow actors who had worked with or admired the star. Tom Cruise, his co-star and longtime friend, paid tribute to Kilmer with a moment of silence at CinemaCon shortly after the news broke. There was no one like Val, Cruise reportedly said. He had this intensity and this brilliance that made every scene come alive. Francis Ford Coppola, who had worked with Kilmer in the past, remembered him as a fiercely talented actor and a gentle soul. Cher, who had a brief but meaningful relationship with Kilmer in the 1980s, wrote on Instagram, he was a real original. Brilliant, funny, and full of life. Jim Carrey, who starred alongside Kilmer in Batman Forever, tweeted, Val had a heart as big as his talent. He was always generous with his time, his creativity, and his humor. We've lost a truly gifted human being. International stars also joined in honoring Kilmer. Bollywood actors Kareena Kapoor Khan, Ranveer Singh, and Priyanka Chopra shared heartfelt messages on their social media platforms, highlighting how Kilmer's work had touched lives across continents and generations. Val Kilmer was one of the reasons I fell in love with cinema, wrote Singh. His performances were mesmerizing. A true legend. A legacy that lives on. Val Kilmer's contribution to cinema extends far beyond his most famous roles. He was a passionate artist, a deep thinker, and an uncompromising performer who brought authenticity to everything he did. His voice may have been silenced by illness, but his legacy speaks louder than ever. His children, Mercedes and Jack Kilmer, have both followed artistic paths of their own. Jack, an actor, recently starred in several indie films and continues to carry forward the creative spark that defined his father's life. In interviews, Mercedes often speaks of her father's fierce determination and unwavering love for storytelling. In the years to come, retrospectives of Kilmer's work are sure to reintroduce his unique genius to newer generations. Film schools, cinephiles, and fans around the world will continue to celebrate his contributions and revisit the characters he brought to life with such depth and precision. As the industry mourns the loss of one of its most distinctive voices, it also celebrates the rich body of work Kilmer leaves behind. From the bravado of Iceman to the haunted melancholy of Doc Holliday, and the spiritual self-reflection in Val, Kilmer's artistic journey was a testament to resilience, passion, and the pursuit of truth through art.